Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
Green orbs make your fantasies come true and turn you into stone. The Cerritos and Carlsbad have to go clean up the scientists' mess and not get tempted by their most intimate fantasies. Friendly competition ensues, and that's where the nightmares begin. Back on the Cerritos, Tendi gets a mentor.
Wait, what are you showing me? No, that is not my fantasy or my nightmare. No, shut off the holo emitter. That is not my fantasy. And if it was, I wouldn't have all those people and there would be no midgets or a pig. No,
we don't say midgets anymore.
What are they?
Yeah, little people.
Little people.
Sorry.
Little people.
There'd be no little people and a pig. Can I say pig?
Yeah, you can say
I think
pig.
the pig is okay with it.
Oh, I thought you said P.
No, pig.
You could say that too, though.
P. Diddy. The pig's name is P. Diddy.
Wait, what are you saying?
It's Pig Diddy.
No,
Pig Diddy.
Diddley?
The dot is trying to tell me that he could see my fantasies and that's his fantasy. He's showing me my fantasy.
Is your dot informed by Google?
That would be funny and dangerous.
You know, if your Google searches are, a little scantily clad.
That would be very dangerous.
So
Yes.
that's the reason. That's the reason why 007 took my lingerie. I was wondering what he was doing with that. Going around like doing everybody's fantasies and nightmares.
Oh my, wait, what do you mean you're going to number one? No, he does not want to see a full holograph nude version of Zachary Quinto. What do you mean that's his fantasy?
I think he does want to see that.
What?
As long as the holographs, it's an interactive hologram.
What? Well, apparently he would like that. Go away.
Speaking of nightmares, I think the light's on.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Somebody had turned that light off. You know who that somebody was?
Who?
It was me because I wanted to sleep in. I forgot to plug it back in. Aha! So I did not know. Okay, or the light is on. All right. Good day, everybody, and thank you for joining us on another Starfleet Underground. We have lots of news to cover, as well as an exciting review of the homework, if you guys haven't done the homework. I've also been informed we have more Patreon people, so yay for that. I'm really excited and happy about that, so that's a good thing. I am here with our full crew complement. I have my wickedly intelligent and investigative reporter. She is the queen of Easter eggs, my science officer.
Aw, thank you. Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer. And it's strange. My nightmare and my fantasy are one of the same. It's cooking. So the fantasy is the actual food being brought out like nice and it tastes good. And the nightmare is actually cooking because it's just destructive and full of fire.
It's the actual food coming out and then tasting it.
That's the fantasy. The fantasy is that it tastes good.
That's the nightmare too. It comes out and you taste it and you're like, bleh.
No, I thought the fantasy would be you make this meal and it tastes really good, and the nightmare is that everyone dies after eating it because you used a fatal ingredient.
Or either that or an alien bursts out their chest.
Both of those would happen.
That would be funny. I also have our very adaptive and much skilled computer programmer, my number one.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy, the foreign species liaison, and just all around awesome dude.
And this ship would be of mothballs if he ever left us. So the guy that really makes us go and makes us feel like Pac-Leds and tells us, don't push that button.
Don't push that button. What are you doing?
So
You never push that button.
He is the Pac-Led queen.
It's so bright and red and shiny. I want to push it.
Never push the bright red shiny button. At least not first.
Well, he solved that for me because he told me not to push a button, and he kind of knew I was going to push a button. So I pushed the button and something in the ship went clunk. And it scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what it was. Learned later on he had set it up just to go clunk.
It's the clunk button. It's a clunk button. Yeah, every ship should have a clunk button.
Yes, so our chief engineer and winner of the O'Brien Award.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm engineer of the show and the ship and the clunk button. And I wanted to shout out Saltlakedude on Instagram. They wrote a really, really nice comment about us. Thought we had one of us had a deep voice and had a good FM morning drive kind of sound to us. And I thought, yeah, we're kind of like a morning zoo show for Star Trekkies.
But Nathan and I were talking about that last night. Like, I thought they were talking about him, and he said they were talking about me.
No, I said I was talking about the both of you.
I believe I'm the one with the bigger microphone, so I can sound better.
Yeah, number one, you don't have the deep voice. I'm sorry. Both of us don't have a deep voice. It's either Captain
my
or...
My voice is deep.
Your voice is not deep. Your voice sounds like mine.
Since you guys are
I'm gonna
driving,
smack you for that.
And since you guys are driving while listening to us, I have a warning. That guy's going to cut you off. Watch it.
There's a clunk button, and it's called a horn.
Yes. Make sure you use that one. So
now, why would you tell me my voice is deep, Nathan? If Heather's saying
your voice does, your voice resonates. Your voice resonates in deeps, and so is Rocky's.
I'm telling you, it's about the microphone.
I'm already self-conscious enough about sounding like a big old fag. Now you're telling me
you don't sound like a big old fag because you don't have the Paul Lynde type of thing. So there's that.
Oh, Mary.
So, well, now there was the little Paul Lynde, so you can channel it, but you don't. That was my personal opinion. So, in fact, let's go ahead and clear this up. For those of you that are listening to the show, send us an email at thecollective@starfleetunderground.com and say which one of us has the deep voice and also which one of us sounds like a beautiful feminine woman.
If you say me, I will beat your ass.
I bet Salt Lake City dude didn't expect this.
Yeah. Infighting among the crew.
Yeah. He is awesome, though. He's a really cool dude.
He is. And so we're going to go ahead and just continue on a little bit since all the introductions are out of the way. I have well, no, it's not. Thank you, Dot, for reminding me. This show is being brought to you by all of our Patreon people. So thank you so much for that. You've really helped us spade, neuter, send some of the tribbles away on vacation and just all around things that we can't normally get in the 20th century. So because they won't let me cheat. So thank you so much. Also from Section 31, who provided us the USS Butler and all of its accoutrements on the ship. So it's really nice, and giving my chief engineer enough finances to install a clunk button, which scared the shit out of me. So next, we have any corrections from last week?
Let me check subspace. Okay, let's see.
There's one correction.
According to Lana,
first
correction in a long time, Rocky said dolphins. They were beluga whales.
I'm so sorry.
I
apologize to Cetacean Ops. I've totally screwed up the kind of animals they are.
She said, I really thought Patrick was going to catch that, but you guys were having such a hilarious conversation, so it's okay.
Okay. 007, GoPro Rocky after the podcast.
What?
That's your punishment. You're going to get anal probe.
What? I didn't sign up for this.
And that's how his voice went up. What?
What do you mean you don't want to do it? Because he might get excited and knock you over.
There are dangers involved in probing.
If you're behind him, he's not going to be able to knock you over. What do you mean? It'll spring off the wall and he'll back into you and knock you over?
Because I jump so high when it happens.
Okay, then don't do that. Just figure something out and let me know later. Okay. News-wise, man, you, Rocky, you scared the crap out of Dots with your organ. So.
Well, now we know why the Dots leaves him alone for most part.
Well, this is true. I thought it was because he just programs him, and well, not that's my number one's job. I thought he just fixes them.
Rocky is the master.
It's called respect.
He is the master of the Dots.
It's called respect.
Okay.
And you could turn them off, too.
Yeah, I know where their off button is. And they know about the clunk button, too. They kind of know how that works. They don't want to upset me if they don't have to.
Okay, where was I? I totally forgot where I was.
News.
Yes, thank you. Where's the coffee?
North, east, west, and south.
007, bring me some coffee. What do you mean I can get off my lazy ass replicators right there? What got into you?
Wow.
Well, fuck you too. All right. Oh, yeah. This podcast is not for children. So if you're under the age of 18, don't listen. Coffee, light, hot.
Hold the time crystals.
There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so news-wise, what do you got for us there, Heather? Any news?
Hi, Captain. So we saw the teaser trailer of Picard, the final season, and I just wanted to point out a few things that people may have missed when watching this. One thing they have not missed for sure is that this will air on February 16th, 2023. So we have a date of when it's going to come out. Now, in the teaser trailer, it was hinted that we will see a new USS Enterprise F-class ship in season 3. In the teaser, we see the shipyard where the ships are being made. Another hint is that Deep Space Nine may be included in season 3, as Worf may still be on Deep Space Nine. And when Troy was shown, she was wearing a uniform and a pad. So she may come back as the ship's counselor. We also see the Titan, which is Riker's ship, but showrunner Terry Matalas. Thank you. Stated that this version of the USS Titan A is a new Constitution-class ship. So not exactly the same. Dr. Crusher's relationship with Picard will also be a big plotline in this season. When watching the trailer, it looks like Crusher's ship was attacked and Riker and Picard have to go and save her. In my personal opinion, this has nothing to do with the news, I hope to God this storyline isn't two guys rescuing a chick with a romantic spark between the two of them, because I will gag. I will seriously gag.
Romantic spark between the two guys? Why not?
No, that would be interesting if it was Riker and Picard.
Oh, yeah, we got to go rescue the Crusher. Okay, fine.
She's their fag hag. That's why they're going to get her.
Crusher is a badass. She should be able to take care of this herself. So that's my news.
I can see Crusher saying we should take off and nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be safe.
Nuke it from
what's
orbit.
going to be the name of the new ship? It's going to be the what?
Well, there's going to be two ships that we are going to see, the USS Enterprise F and the Titan A, which is a new Constitution ship.
Oh, I think they named it the USS Enterprise F, basically to tell all the people that hate the new shows to fuck off.
Is that why it's F?
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So
it's F because this starship fucks.
So it's Enterprise FU.
If we want to be censor appropriate, it's the USS Enterprise F to frack off.
Or frell off. So we got them all,
frack off,
we got them all covered. And speaking about people, which the dots say frell well, what do you got for Newswise, number one?
I keep telling them to stop watching me. Anyway, so the next season of Strange New Worlds, season 2, we're going to see an Academy Award nominated actress whom some of you may know, the one and only incomparable Carol Kane is coming on as the engineer. I believe it's pronounced Pelia, but I'm not quite sure because...
That sounded right.
Yeah, it looks like it's pronounced Pelia, but she's highly educated and intelligent and someone who suffers no fools. She solves problems calmly and brusquely thanks to her many years of experience. Also...
Now, before you go on, if you don't recognize her name, what work would we recognize her from?
From Taxi
Princess Bride,
and also
Taxi,
The Princess
Unbreakable
Bride.
Kimmy Schmidt, I mean, the list goes on and on.
She was the princess in Princess Bride?
No, she was the wife of Miracle Max.
Oh, okay.
She was in heavy makeup. It's like, shut up, you witch. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife. And I'm not even sure I want to be that anymore. So
She was Locke's girlfriend in Taxi.
Yep. She was Lopka's girlfriend in Taxi. Good. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's extremely funny.
Yeah, I mean, she's phenomenal.
Yeah. She's very funny. And I'm glad they replaced somebody of substance for Emner being gone.
I can't wait. This should be friggin' awesome. And it's amazing to watch people on Twitter like, yeah, but we wanted Scotty. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get Scotty. There's no fucking way.
That's for a while. Scotty doesn't get on board for a while.
Yeah, you don't get Scotty till, you're really into it. You gotta tease him a little.
Yeah.
Hey, Chihuahua. Well, the next bit of news is apparently Chris Pine is talking Star Trek 4 and how he thinks it would be so cool to be able to play Kirk throughout his career. He said that They don't know anything about the script yet. He says, I think reporters think that we know more than we're saying. And when I say that, honestly, none of us know anything. I haven't seen a script. All I heard was that they were making a film. I'm so stoked for the idea and the possibility, as we all are, but it's too premature to say anything because there's no date, there's no nothing, but I'm pretty positive we'll all come back. I don't see why not. So
then why are they sending him to William Shatner's School of Speaking?
I don't know
anything about the new series coming up. So once I would know, I would let everyone else know. Damn it, man. Just be patient.
Also want to take a brief moment to give a little tribute to the passing of Queen Elizabeth. The world is in mourning and, she's been the longest reigning monarch in British history. So, let's give her like a moment of silence if we can, okay? Perfect. Thank you. Next.
And for all the people who said that she was a lizard person, shows you that lizard people aren't immortal.
So Chris Pine, wasn't Chris Pine the one that got spat at or something this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was...
Harry Styles?
It wasn't really a spat per se. I think Harry Styles gave like a little mini sneeze and something came out because Chris Pine's eyes was priceless. Because he looked down and his eyes looked at him and Styles didn't even look like he realized he did it. So he's lucky he didn't Will Smith him. But after that happened, right? So, but that was interesting. Rocky.
Yo.
What do you got for news for us?
Okay, Star Trek Day was loaded with all kinds of news, but I had a couple favorites out of it I wanted to pick from. And also, well, I don't know. Should I mention the Nerf Phaser? That looked really, really cool.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, because they were looking at a Type 3 phaser blaster and pre-orders and all this and that. And but the
gray one.
You know what to put in my stocking for Christmas.
Do you want the gray one or do you want the colored one?
I'd like the fully colored one. That would be cool. I can imagine how many people bring Nerf phasers to the next Star Trek convention, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't bring a Nerf phaser. Yeah, it's a Nerf phaser." And then imagine the kind of onslaughts of battles that would happen with every one of the conventions having a Nerf phaser going off. That would be amazing.
It wouldn't be a whole lot because apparently it's going to be a limited run.
Yes. They did say that. They did say
as long as you get everybody with the limited run there at the convention, it should be a sight to see at least.
Well, this is true. I'm sure everybody who buys one will be definitely at a convention. So
anyway, my more serious news from Star Trek Day, I was happy to confirm that Nicholas Meyer came out and said what happened during the 15 years of Khan on Ceti Alpha 5. He had it written as a TV, like a 3-episode TV arc. And he's converting it officially to be a podcast, Khan Ceti Alpha 5.
Which is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see the voice talents for that.
And can you only imagine that the podcast part of it may actually convert to something else? So that's going to be wonderful. I wonder who they're going to cast as Khan.
The same here. It's going to be
Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's going to be no. He doesn't have. He's a great actor, but he doesn't have the same gravitas.
Not
as
at all. No, you gotta get some Latin flavor into that.
Yeah, you do.
And some big boobs.
Yeah.
Well, boobs are optional, but
big man boobs.
And that was his. He worked out. A lot of people thought there was a fake chest.
I'm like lighting up. I'm like, no, it's not fake. It's actually his. Well, Rocky, calm down. It's okay.
Yeah.
The only time you'll ever see Rocky getting excited over man boobs.
Right.
This is true.
Unless I take a selfie that I don't like. Also excited that the Directive podcast is returning in February of 2023.
Oh, nice.
So
very cool.
Yeah. And podcasting's a lot of fun lately. I'm also still listening to the Open Pike podcast. And even though Strange New Worlds has run the first season, they're still bringing people on to talk about the show. So they're actually getting producers and writers from the show, and hashtag Mortegas has been on the show as well.
Oh,
so I have to, bow down to Open Pike.
I love Ortegas.
We got to talk to her at the Star Trek Day.
Oh, nice.
She was really nice.
That's so awesome.
She's fucking cool. I love her on Twitter.
Very.
We also got to talk to Terry Farrell.
Oh, I'm jealous. wouldn't even know what to say to her if I got to see her. Wow. So the other thing I'm excited about is the Prodigy teaser. They showed the teaser for Prodigy coming out October 27th.
Oh my God.
And the scene they showed was real Janeway hunting down the hologram Janeway. And something interesting was happening to Murph. What was happening to Murph?
What?
He had an alien baby in him.
He was actually, looks like he was metamorphing
Is
into
Murph
something.
going to become a butterfly?
We don't know. There was a cracked chrysalis on the ground, and Rock Talk is like, "Where's Murph?" So yeah.
Is Murph going to become that thing in Lower Decks that bites on the nacelle in the opening?
Murph reminded me of a dog about to give puppies. I thought Murph was pregnant for a second.
We don't know.
Well, all that stuff he ate, Murph
Right?
could wind up being a she.
Well, if I think a face hugger came out of him.
Well, we won't know until next season, but it was very exciting.
But we'll have to find out in October.
Who knows my darling? Who knows my blood inside?
Ribbit.
And we may be lucky on our show on the 29th after the premiere of Prodigy. We may be able to have a very special guest on the show.
There may be a special guest.
Don't promote it yet. Just wait until it happens. Don't promote it. Keep it a secret, especially if they find out.
That's what I said. I said we may a special guest, but I'm not going to say anything.
Good, because especially if they hear the podcast and find out, then try to hide from our censors and we can't grab them. So that would be cool. Okay, my news. For those of you who probably don't know, except for the ones that were there, which is hi Lana, hi Ed, at the event. Number one and I were invited by Paramount to Star Trek Day. So we were actually there where we were boots on the ground. And so
Wait. So while we were watching Star Trek Day online, you were physically there?
There, sitting in the seat, asses in the seat, talking to the celebrities.
You got to hear the DJ DJing real live.
Reggie Watt.
What the fuck was Reggie doing? I mean,
he was funny.
Did people realize who they were booking when they booked him for that? Because
because
he's
That's
high.
hilarious.
The dude's like high all the time or something.
I mean, he was. He higher than half the friggin' audience out there. That was something else. But I'm not bagging on him that much because I found it entertaining. But because you guys know that I occasionally watch Star Trek stuff with my parents. They were like, why is he on? What the hell is this? Could you make him go away?
He's a fan, and it's very entertaining to watch his head stop moving and his hair keep going for a heartbeat or two.
He's got the big hair.
He made
That was cool.
He made a lot of those sounds with his own mouth. So
Yeah, he had all that
He did
little
a lot of
effect
sound
stuff going
effects.
on, and all he did was stuff with his mouth. So that was kind of
so
funny.
he did really good, and I'm sure Patrick would have. No, but he's not Patrick's type, so never mind.
I
I'm going
was
to kill that
thinking
joke.
that too. I was thinking the same joke.
I'm going to kill that joke before it's born. Okay, being there, we had a chance to be able to meet various actors as well from the new series. I had a chance to meet and talk to the gentleman that played the Doctor.
Babs.
And he just an awesome individual. I had a chance to talk to him and tell him about his craft and how much I admire his craft from Dune as well as all the other shows he's been in.
So what's he like? He seems like a really nice person.
He is, and he's got an extremely firm handshake, and you could tell that he works out and does labor. He's not just a foo-foo actor because his hands was really strong and rough. I picked up on the grip. So
I like firm guys.
yeah, so he was so he was definitely there.
It helps if they're firm.
Yeah,
It
At least in
helps.
certain areas.
Definitely.
Certain things got to be firm.
you don't want to be spoon guy.
You don't want a soft guy.
No, you don't want to be a spoon guy. You know what a spoon guy is, right? He can't get fully firm, so he just spoons it in and then rushes until it gets hard.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the nickname is Spoon Guy. Okay, next we had a chance to meet and talk to the actress that plays Ortegas.
Melissa Navia.
Squee.
She was also quite gracious and talked with us for a while. I had a geek out moment when the woman that plays the new Cadet Uhura
Celia Rose Gooding.
walked by and I went to talk to her and all I could muster out was, hi, because nothing else worked. She's very, very pretty.
She's gorgeous.
She had a lot of celebrities. One of the things they did, for those of you that wonder, do they give swag bags to fans that show up? Yeah, they do. They had a large box of Boimler raisins, Woo! Which was really cool.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
They also had water bottles, a triple insulated water bottle with different colors, all metal, and they would monogram it with phrases or your name, which was really cool. They would etch it on there.
That's like so cool.
And you got purple socks. Purple.
They had, in the actual swag bag itself, they had Star Trek socks.
Now, they don't know what we do with socks around on our show, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, we only need one sock on this ship.
Yeah.
Not one sock accumulative for everybody. That would be sort of gross.
That's gnarly.
Well,
one sock per person.
I'm just wondering how Heather uses her one sock.
Want to find out?
I know how guys would use it. I'm just trying to figure out how Heather would use it.
Come to my bedroom.
No.
We'll find out.
No.
Oh, come on. It'll be fun.
No.
Rocky uses his, you could tell when Rocky uses his, you can hear out of his quarters. He's like, engage. So, yeah.
The sock comes back an extra foot longer.
They also gave us a Blu-ray copy of the remastered 4K edition of the motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. And they gave us a mug. Apparently Quark's going to get really pissed off. They gave us a glass from Quark's bar, which was really cool.
Nice.
That's so cool. That's amazing amount of swag.
And a nice
That
bag.
is so
It was
cool.
a nice multicolored
The bag was all translucent, rainbow.
Yeah, translucent bag that looks like rainbows. They had a big live long and prosper hand, which you could take pictures in front of. They had a table there that gave you a frozen Cheeto that when you put it in your mouth, you breathe smoke out your nostrils like a dragon.
Yeah, they did it in dry ice.
Yeah.
Whoa. So what did it smell like when it was coming out?
It didn't smell like anything, but it tastes like shit after.
Yeah.
So it smelled like
You got
cold?
the bad Cheeto.
Yeah, it smells like
the bad one.
if you open a freezer, you know how you open a freezer and you stand in front of the freezer and you actually breathe in, it smells like that.
Okay.
But minus the food orders. They had free hors d'oeuvres, so they walked around and gave out hors d'oeuvres. So we had that. They had I wouldn't say a fully open bar, but they had free soda and wine, two white and red wines for you to be able to have, as well as they had a machine there that said to take your aura. You sit in front of it and you put your hand on the screen and it snaps pictures, but basically you just have sparkles around you and on the picture.
Oh, I know what number one's aura was. He had a triple in the background.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they had to redo it because it's like, we don't understand. Every time we take his picture, there's like a black hole in the center where his heart should be.
Nathan kept jumping in the picture.
You did not see me. I was behind you. They also had makeup artists there, so they would give you like a Borg implant look on the side of your face if you want, or they would give you a little etching on your arm or a little tattoo with henna. So it was pretty nice that they did that. They were very gracious and they had a lot of people around. A surprise guest, I'm sure if you watched the streaming, was Patrick Stewart, and they had the entire, not the entire, they had a good amount of the Picard for next season where they talked about everything. And so it was really funny watching them set up and they run back and forth. Well, I guess they're at home. They were showing teasers. They were minions running back and forth, putting chairs up and setting everything. And Will Wheaton also always gracious. He's such a nice man.
He got a large audience reaction.
Yeah, almost like a standing O. People just, really, his nerd cred is untouchable.
They ran a really nice clip of the Ready Room. It was really well done. It was like, wow, they're putting a real good treatment to that. As they should, because Will Wheaton has done an amazing job with that show and the rest of his crew as well. Loving the Ready Room.
I love Will Wheaton. I want him back as the Traveler.
And the Ready Room will be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it.
So I got a quick question. How did you and number one get invited? Are you like friends with someone in Section 31? Like, what do you have to do?
It's a combination of those things. And we've been doing a lot of stuff for Star Trek forever with the conventions. We've been doing things with the 1701st Fleet, which I'm Fleet Admiral of, as well as Vice Admiral of the Fleet. And because we do a lot of charity events, number one, being in the Foreign Species Liaison, has gone up to a bunch of different of the talent. And they've donated things for us to be able to auction for charity. And so they know us. I wouldn't say like intimately, but they recognize us, remember our names and everything else. So because of that, word has gotten out along with some of the other people that we're a part of, like the LA away team and they will put our names in. So because Star Trek's always looking for fans that are fanatical and will show up in uniform because it really helps them push their product out. So it's really cool. We had a good time. I'm glad that number one was able to make it. And it was great seeing Ed there as well as Lana. And of course, seeing her husband, Hawkman. People addressed him by Hawkman. So it was great seeing Andy as well.
Hi, Andy.
So that was my news. We ran a little long, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit. And I hate doing that because it gives our engineers so much more work.
Not a big deal, sir. Star Trek Day was a massive event, and I can only imagine what the control room sounded like when they never stayed on the teleprompter.
That's hilarious.
Shax was actually doing the voice stuff.
Yes, he was. And I thought that was incredibly cool, too.
It was really cool. So that was nice.
And Tawny Newsome is just freaking hysterical, man.
Oh, my God. I got a crush on her. She's just...
Yes, she's awesome.
She's quite crushable. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to look at anyone else on stage when she was there. So there's that.
And the fact that they had Jackie Cox and...
oh, yeah, that was awesome.
And... oh my God, Mary, not Mary Wiseman.
She's another one. She was there with her partner, and she looked gorgeous.
No, Mary Wiseman is Tilly.
No, not Mary Chiefo.
Chiefo, yeah.
Mary Chiefo.
Mary Chiefo looked gorgeous.
The fact that they had a queer woman and a drag queen as two of the hosts, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the walk into the bar joke.
Right.
No, and Mary is tall enough, but she also had shoes on that made her even taller.
I enjoyed those two hosts. They did a really good job.
Yeah, she was definitely tall and statuesque and made me feel like going, Mommy, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, it was also the perfect amount of staying on script and then improvising and adding your own stuff. And it made it really interesting to watch. And I think they did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree. Tawny was great at that. She goes, I'm not going to read the prompter now.
Oh, she was hilarious. I was just dying.
She yelled out, "Give us a live action movie, you cowards." I just like, yes.
Yes.
And then Dr. McLean was like, well, that might be a little difficult for me.
Yeah. And
no,
she said,
just put him in makeup.
The makeup crew from Strange New Worlds is amazing. So I could totally see McLean.
Or just do dots on his face and they could computerize him.
Yeah, you can do that too.
They can do like Andy Serkis and
there
Gollum.
You go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would be cool. He just wouldn't have a lot of screen time to say budget, but he'd be in there. Because we're at Star Trek Day and everything we did, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but the dot is telling me that my science officer is going to be giving us our recap for the homework.
Aye, Captain.
Were they right?
Yes. The dot is correct.
Oh, hold on 1 second. 1 second. This is getting a little chilly. Hold on. Coffee. Okay. Ready?
So this week we watched Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 3, Mining the Mind's Mines. First aired on September 8th, 2022. Teacher teaser. Star Trek are on a remote planet of Jenga and accidentally top over a glowing green orb. Suddenly, the Medusa of empathy appears, throwing all of the red flags to her love-struck victim. But one touch is all it takes to be turned into stone forever. Bum, bum, bum.
So we're on a planet called Jenga, so you got to be careful what pieces you move.
Yep, it's the Jenga planet.
Oh, it's all going to fall down. But it was really kind of wild. It reminds me of a TOS episode where you don't expect it. And it shows that people's logic just flies out. What the fuck would your 7th grade teacher be on a planet without a spacesuit and looking the same? That it should connect.
In a toga.
Yes.
Wanting to get frisky with you.
Yes, I expected the teacher teaser to be on Pornhub.
Yeah, it looked quite like that. I know if I had like a high school girlfriend show up and she looked exactly what she did from high school, the first thing I would yell, "You're too young for me, get away."
and then you jump on her.
No, would not.
You just throw the disclaimer out first.
No.
All I'm saying is my 9th grade biology teacher was, And that age, you're like, the age thing doesn't work. But looking back at it now, how old was that? She was pretty young back then because I'm in my 40s now. So I'm like, ooh. And then I'm just like, dude, you're a pervert. Shut up.
It would go like that.
Yeah.
So that was, which is really funny. I guess this is the first time we had a teaser that was a teaser.
Hey.
Ooh, bump, bump, bump. So this episode where Star Trek's the crew's desires are manifested, this is actually similar to The Next Generation Season 1, Episode 6, where no man has gone before. Oh, I'm sorry, where no one has gone before. That's a different episode.
Also, it was a throwback to the TOS episode, Shore Leave, when they made it to the planet and the planet put everything out that they imagined. They had to watch what they think, where Bones was following a big bunny. Sulu had a samurai come out and there was a plane that strafed them. So and McCoy had, two Vegas showgirls towards the end.
McCoy's a character.
Start spreading the news.
All I know is the ending of my notes on this section is 3 words. Dude got stoned.
I saw what you did there.
Perfect.
That was some good weed, man.
So perfect.
He was stoned. I thought that was it. He was gone.
Like the skunk weed they were smoking last night at Duran.
Yeah, he was Medusa'd. Okay, I guess we can go to the next section.
Aye, Captain. Act 1. Choose your own adventure. Starfleet figured out the conflict with the Scrubbles, and now the Cerritos and the Carlsbad crews are cleaning things up. Next up, Ransom's stand-up routine, which turns into a gossiping session. Mariner, Rutherford, and Boimler go down to the planet to clean up, while Tendi stays on the ship to meet her new mentor. Storyline B. Tendi's mentor is Mr. Miglimoo, the bird psychiatrist. He admits that he has no clue what he's doing, but no worries. Spock wrote the instruction manual for this. Let's see. Vulcan stuff, Vulcan stuff, Vulcan stuff. Here we go. Miglimoo has Tendi's first assignment. Go to our super busy captain who has more important things to do and interrupt her. She'll be pissed. It'll be great. An anxious Tendi goes to the final negotiation meeting and tries to interrupt the captain, but Freeman doesn't even notice her and begins the meeting. The Scrubbles offer a gift as a token of their appreciation. The rest of the time is spent with the two captains fighting over which one was going to have to toss that trinket in their storage room. Storyline A. The Cerritos crew meets the Carlsbad lower deckers and their reputations precede them. Carlsbad give them the cold shoulder after a vulgar greeting. Peeved, Mariner convinces the crew to get their job done faster and better, to show them. Dunking those orbs like they're in Space Jam and sidestepping fantasies like Leah Brahms, Boimler's dad, and one sexy-ass Jennifer. Stevens, their manager, tries to help, but this klutzy ass breaks the orbs, causing nightmares to spill out.
A lot of nightmares spilled out.
A lot of Section 1 happened, right? I mean, Act 1 was huge in this episode.
Oh, Act 1 was so big. And there's so many Easter eggs.
It was like its own episode. Oh, man. It was such they layer them in thick on lower decks.
Yeah, this had to be a third of the episode.
Yeah, it definitely was. And to see the other crew there, and you're like, we got to show them up. It's just a matter of pride, so I thought that was kind of funny. But Miglio, whatever his name is. Miglimoo. I would not be thumbing through Spock's words going, Vulcan stuff, Vulcan stuff, Vulcan stuff.
That was great.
Yeah, just get to the section where, oh yeah, this one's got a picture. Okay.
So you figured Spock wrote it, and so he took great joy, as much as a Vulcan could, to annoy the captain.
Lots of facts in there.
Yeah, make him listen,
and bother the captain.
Annoy him, make him mad.
It's step 1 about science officering. Yeah, annoy the captain.
And then he says, I wish they would have found an editor for this.
I did like, though, that they admit that the science officer is actually the voice of science. You have to represent science on the ship. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
It was. And she looked so excited. And
she just wanted to take a test.
Yeah, she just wondered, she studied so hard.
This is sort of similar to what they did on The Next Generation, Lower Decks, which is what this series was actually inspired from. They were getting a mentor on that episode.
Oh, did not know that.
Learn something new every day.
I thought it was interesting, having gone through community college and learned about radio broadcasting through community college. We had the thing where you had to have somebody who's been in the class before you show you the ropes, essentially, like show you how to work the stuff and learn how to run the lab, where you actually learn how to start doing things. Instead of getting the actual teacher to do it, they just give another person that's been in the class like a year ahead of you to teach you how to do it. And it felt like blind leading the blind a little bit. And this is kind of what this reminded me of. He's like looking through the book, like, I don't know. Let me look in the book. Let's see what's in here. Oh, yeah, I got some Vulcan stuff or something or other. And oh, yeah, okay, go annoy the captain. That's like, this isn't feeling like this is real school over here. It's like, is really this the best example of a mentor?
Yeah, it's like, you're going to read about how Pike is the captain and he writes a book and you go, okay, this is the afterwards, this is the forward, captainy stuff. Here's how you sit in the chair.
I feel like Starfleet should have just handed her the book. Tendi would have taken that book and learned a hell of a lot more than getting what she was getting from Miglimo.
She would have memorized it.
Oh, yeah. She would have devoured it.
Yeah. But meanwhile, on Jenga, as they're trying to do
Jenga, not Jenga.
Isn't it Jenga's? Jenga's 4 is what I have.
Oh, you mean more than one Jengas?
Okay, sure. Plural of Jenga is Jenga's. Okay.
Yeah, so there is a bunch, and you can see the animosity between the two because everyone feels that they're thinking the opposite of what's really going on, which we'll find out later on.
They're so damn competitive. I'm like, wow.
Well, it's like, you take the trinket. No, you take the trinket. I don't want the trinket. You take it.
And the captains, that's just the captain's side of things. I was thinking about back on the planet with the lower deckers, how competitive they are.
Yeah, but they did look good.
Well, yeah, they were aggressive too. Yeah, the lower deckers were aggressive too. In fact, everyone on that ship was aggressive. They were short, they were rude, they seemed to be out of place.
Well, they also had a little bit of an attitude, if you think about it, because you had Kearns, Cordy, and Young, and they're all like, all by the book and being all firm and having an assembly line on deconstructing the thing.
That was hilarious.
And then they're looking at a team and you get Mariners like, no, they can't do that. We're better. They must think we're a joke.
I love the competitiveness. Yeah, she rubs.
You don't rub, I rub.
You go, girl.
Was funny.
Don't rub one out.
And incidentally, iRub is a new Apple product which we released this fall.
Ooh,
the iRub.
Nice.
Not to be used while driving.
Oh, goodness. Please pull over before you pull out and rub.
Before we go on to the next scene, the 3 crew members of the lower deckers on the next one, do you guys recognize the aliens? One was with the web hands, one looked like, do you guys recognize them?
No.
I didn't. No? I wasn't paying that close attention. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm not really segregating aliens.
So so web hands was Zaldin, which was first seen on The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 19, Coming in Age. They are easily infuriated by courtesy and view it as a form of phony social behavior designed to cover true feelings. So Wesley Crusher bumped into him, was nice to him, and then he got all pissed off because Wesley was nice to him.
Okay, I remember that episode. Yeah, okay.
Right. And then the other one was a Tellarite, which was actually voiced by the bird therapist. And if you don't know a Tellarite, Jacob Pog on Prodigy is a Tellarite.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one's just human.
Please. That's boring. He's just a regular human.
Yeah, he's just a normal human. Nothing special.
I like that the crew of the Cerritos is like, hey, what's up, batters? Because they're from the Carlsbad, so they're the batters. But that means the Cerritos means they're the tossers?
No, the Ritos.
Well, yeah, I guess they're the Ritos, but I thought tossers was more obscene.
Yeah, and they were Ritos, and people had Rios t-shirts.
And Miglimo and the Tellarite were played by Paul F. Tompkins, who was also one of the hosts at Star Trek on Day.
I just said that, the bird therapist.
I thought you was going to say, and they were playing Hollywood Bowl.
Do you guys recognize Rutherford's desire, the woman?
I very much recognize that episode. Or I mean that fantasy.
Yeah, that's Geordi's crush. He can't go there.
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
Her name is Leah Brahms, and she was on a lot of the Next Generation episodes. But the very first one she was on was season 3, episode 6, Booby Traps.
And I didn't appreciate that because it made Geordi look like a creeper incel.
I never saw that. I thought Geordi was just lost in a fantasy by accident.
Yeah, like a video game.
There was no harm being caused from it.
It kind of
it's something that happens with holograms, and some people experience
what
that.
happens in a holodeck should stay in the holodeck.
Until she sees it and realizes what you're doing.
That was an accident that happened later on.
Just like when they walked in on Barclay and they said it's like, Riker, aren't you taller? He had
it was a short Riker. Yeah, I remember that one.
He was a short Riker. And you had, and you had the counselor all femmed out and being, so that was definitely interesting.
Yeah, leave your fantasies on the holodeck. Try not to go to a planet where they, put your fantasies in front of you.
Yeah, not good.
I love the part when they were comparing themselves to the Carlsbad ensigns. They're like, oh, those guys are all smug, because they were. But they were talking about, Boimler's like, we've gotten into some shenanigans. And then both Boimler and Rutherford are saying shenanigans at the same time, to the fact that you couldn't understand what they're talking about without listening to it 4 times in a row.
There are so many.
Fortunately, I had subtitles to watch the second time in a row. They had all kinds of stuff they were talking about. Basically, they recapped the entire first season of Lower Decks. I mean,
which was really funny.
It was great.
Which was really fun. And you see Boimler, unfortunately, his fantasy is not the women that were the Raisin place, not the stuff that's going on, that he's needed.
He's needed by Starfleet because the Borg are coming and they need him to save us.
They need us. And what was really funny is that Rutherford is like, no, Mariner is like, even in your fantasy, you're in the sidecar.
Driving is dangerous, okay? He's a natural passenger. I thought that was so fucking funny.
I thought that was hysterical. Your fantasy, you're in a sidecar. I thought that was pretty funny.
And props to Mariner for having a proper fantasy right there. That was a hot Andorian girlfriend, even though she's not my girlfriend. We're just hanging out. We're not in a label.
But she was so bluff. Yeah, she was blushing so bad.
Rutherford's like, look at your heart rate. She's like, stop looking at my heart rate.
We know Mariner's swinging on both sides of the fence.
Yes, she is.
But that's her number one fantasy right now, because she does have the hots for what's his face?
Ransom.
But that's not her primary. And the
fantasy was to say, let's go tear Ransom a new one. So that's ooh, kinky.
Threesome.
Yeah.
That's a threesome with Ransom.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
And Jennifer.
That was, oh my God, that was funny. And how they tried to keep trying to ignore it and think of Parisi squares.
Yeah.
When the nightmares come out, Boimler says, I think these broken rocks are reading our nightmares. And Rutherford says, but I don't like my nightmares.
Nobody likes their nightmares.
It was hilarious.
And then you see, first off, if you're scared of snakes, what's worse than that? A Borg snake.
A Borg snake. That was so frightening.
Fucking Borg snake.
And of course, we had Klingon Clowns, which were pretty scary. But what was the short purple thing?
That was the tentacle Raisin Monster.
It reminded me of Grimace, but with tree arms.
Oh, was that the Klingon? No, the tentacle monster.
Yeah, it had tentacles, but they were
raisins. They were raisins on them. It was Boimler's nightmare.
It was Boimler.
Oh my God, it was a Raisin Monster?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Wow.
But you know what would be scary to anybody? Klingon Clowns.
Yeah, right? That's pretty scary.
With bat-lift arms. It was like, what? The only thing worse was they all started yelling, I am not a merry man.
Okay, that would be funny.
Well, did you guys recognize the snake dragon with the feathered mane?
Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, Cuckoo-Lacan. or Kukulakan. It first appeared in the animated series, season 2, episode 5, How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth.
Wow. Okay. No, I can see that now. I've got to watch the animated series a couple more times, although I think it would be slightly painful.
No, you should especially watch it because this is a tribute for Nichelle Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
There's an episode where she takes over captain of the ship where all the men, all the men get trapped by women. And so she leads a crew of women down to rescue the men.
Her and Nurse Chapel taking charge.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. So I guess we can get ready to go into the next. Wait, there's something I just realized.
What's that?
What?
Number one, you've been strangely quiet this section.
You've all been just chatting away. I've been listening.
No, you've been listening, but normally you contribute. Contribute something, damn it.
Let's go on to the next section.
That's not contributing.
That's not contributing. Okay, so how about this? Did you guys recognize the USS Hood? We've seen it before.
Yeah, it came from Compton, yo.
Yeah, God. It was in the first season, first episode of The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint.
It's always fun seeing an Excelsior class ship in Next Generation times.
Excelsior. Yeah, I contributed.
That was Sulu's ship. Sulu had an Excelsior class ship.
I just love that they just bring it up because the basketball dunking of the green, fantasy rocks is just like hilarious.
Yeah, that was
their decision. It's like, we're just going to start dunking them. I'm like, man, they got some basketball moves going on over here. And then they fucking overdunk. And
it's because it was a person that didn't play who's basically
it was a white man, right? White man can't jump.
Yelling, Kobe! Smashes into the thing. It's like, wow.
And he yelled, Kobe Yashimaru.
I know.
Jesus. Oh, man.
That was, and then the smoke comes everywhere. It's like, what's going to happen? Nightmares.
Nightmares.
Yeah, mine would be spiders. Unless they're jumping spiders.
That would be scary.
No, thank you.
I love the jumping spiders are cute, but those big nasty ones, I'm done.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think mine would be xenomorphs.
And if you want to see me respond like I've been shot, just let me walk into a web. I will freak out and dance and then hit the floor. I do not like the feel of spider webs.
Scream like a little girl.
Yes, I would. I would scream like a bathtub toy that's been squeezed too hard, and then I would hit the floor.
My nightmare would be the dots having full control.
No.
How do you know they don't have full control?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna change my nightmare. My nightmare would be us having to eat Heather's food.
That would be my nightmare too.
Heather, be careful because the dot thinks your belly button is an input port and it's going to try to control you.
I'm going to smack that dot around.
So don't do that. Okay, I guess we can go to the next section.
Aye, Captain. Act 2, Google and Facebook's data mining machine. Storyline B. As the two captains are still fighting over the rock, Tendi scans it and notices something pretty interesting. Ignored and dejected, Tendi leaves and decides to visit her real mentor, Tiana, who gives her some great mentoring advice while cutting a guy's foot off with a chainsaw. Storyline A. The Cerritos and Carlsbad lower deckers run for their lives and into a cave. Rutherford causes a cave-in, saving them from the monsters, but not from an awkward conversation. Mariner admits that this was all her fault. The Cerritos obviously had a bad reputation and they didn't want to live up to it. That's funny. The Carlsbad crew was trying to impress them, but it kind of came across wrong. They think the Cerritos is the coolest, and a love fest continues when they notice some strange readings at the back of the cave. They investigate and find a machine that is collecting and storing everyone's thoughts and information in order to show them crazy things like a rainbow unicorn ad in the future. They must tell their captains. Pumped and enthusiastic, the gang fights through the monsters so they can call for a ride.
Are they calling an Uber or a Lyft?
They're trying to call a Lyft, but it wasn't going through.
Space Uber. It's not a real day in Starfleet until comms gets blocked.
Exactly.
I laughed at that so hard.
That was such a great line.
Okay, that was funny. That's true. There's the one MacGuffin that they could all use to get out of danger. They have to disable it. which is comms.
It's either that or the transporter's being blocked by something, the comms not working, we can't get there because they can detect, all that kind of, it's something, but it's usually comms getting blocked is the first one.
And I kind of like where they classic misunderstanding trope that they have. We thought you hated us. No, we thought that you hated us. Aww.
Love fest.
It's the common ground. It's the one thing, that we have this in common. We want to outbest each other because we're in competition. I
find out you guys are the Enterprise of all the California class ships. What? We are?
It was so cool.
Watching it a second time, though, it's interesting because they were definitely aggressive and cold shoulder and put offish and very rude. And
well, it's interesting. There's one thing about, it's being professional is one thing, but being better than your competitor, that they are a competitor. They're not your competitor. They're on your side. But that friendly competition, you take it a step too far and it becomes out of control.
Well, just like
you
the
must
captains.
Always be better.
What was that number one?
Always be better.
Well, yeah, be kind.
Well, you can always get better.
No, you can be best.
Oh God.
Please, not even be there. What was kind of funny is, again, the two captains, it's just all the way down. It shows that they even had animosity going back and forth. You take it. No, you take it. And they're like, well, somebody just take it.
Just store it in your damn storage unit.
All the captains have a closet full of crap like this. You just take it.
All the tchotchkes, so they're all over the place.
funny.
So it's like, what the hell?
And they fought for a while. Like they fought for a couple acts.
So much so that the visitors, they had to try to threaten the scientists and the other guy. Well, just leave. No peace accords. Just take it. We're going to go. And they're like, shut up. We haven't solved this yet. So they didn't even care. They're too busy going back and forth. Meanwhile, there's a love fest in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing. If it's a fantasy, this is the one thing that was hitting me. How would the phasers work? Was it actually manifesting?
Well, the phasers are still real, right? So when
Yeah, but if it's a fantasy, did they materialize as a fantasy?
Well, it's kind of like, if it's kind of like you're like playing Parisi squares, you're ignoring it. This is just forcefully ignoring you with my phaser.
Wait, you know what? I just realized something and I corrected myself because everyone else saw it and they must have been materialized. Because if it was just a single person's fantasy, no one else would see it.
Well, yeah, at that point, too, it's like everybody's fantasies become a nightmare. So that's the only thing they can do is fire phasers and hopefully they don't get caught.
Oh, my God. I love Mariner's Nightmares. Jennifer saying, I want to be exclusive. I want us to grow old and boring together and grow orchids, babe.
That was funny.
And then Boiler's like, I think you still have to go to therapy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Of course, Mariner needs therapy. Yeah, it's totally obvious, but still.
I mean, she thought about it, or else it wouldn't have manifested.
Yeah.
Getting some of that hot girl action going on.
Bow chicka wow wow. And I love Tiana.
I wouldn't complain, seriously. If she's like my girl and she's like, I need to have a side woman, it's like, go for it. I don't mind. It was, just as long as you come back home, that's all I care about. So
maybe snap some photos while you're there.
Sorry.
Did I say that out
don't. Yeah, they get mad if you say that. So
sorry.
That's like they have to be the ones that bring it
up.
Yeah, they have to say you want to watch. If they don't say it, you don't ask it. So just leave it at that. That was fun. Somebody was saying something about Tendi. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying I love Tiana. Tiana and Tendi.
Oh, Tiana. Okay.
That was the best mentoring I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Tiana, she's like, shit the bed, huh? And Tendi's like, yeah, I think that's about accurate. And then Tiana takes a deep breath. She's like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And then she gives her some good, advice and everything.
Meanwhile, the guy's got some critter sucking on his toes like he's going to lose.
I love that little critter sucking because it's still a character in the whole scene. It just doesn't have any lines, but it's sitting there and it's acting the entire time. I love that animation, all those little details. You see a little eyeball looking back and forth thing like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well,
like it's got its own scene.
Most of the time, if you want to get your toes sucked, you got to pay for that kind of thing.
Yeah, right?
The guy's response response is the best too. He's like, "What? You're gonna like cut off my foot, huh?
Yeah,
what are we doing?"
That was like, they're just casually having a conversation. Like, Mila was like, "What? Did you just say you're going to cut off my foot?"
And grow
You
a
were
new
kidding,
one.
right?
Oh, my foot and grow a new one. It's like, oh my God.
But the advice though is really solid. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
it is.
study all you want, but sometimes you just got to go out and do it and fuck it up and fix it.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Studying is good, but in real life, there's going to be times when you need to make a mess of things before you can fix them. Like how I'm going to have to cut off this guy's foot so we can grow him a new one.
Sometimes you just got to figure it out the hard way.
But I also love Mariner's hero moment where they're all kumbaya and she's like, let's give them the Cerritos experience.
Yeah, then they get medieval and start ripping crystals apart.
Started throwing the stuff in it. And it's like, okay, this has gone to the whole thing. What is that book with the kids on the island?
Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
And they attacked the fat
Lord
kid.
of the Flies. Yeah.
They went all Lord of the Flies in that cave, which is pretty wild.
I had to laugh when they get out of the cave and both Boimler and Kearns are trying to hit their comms at the same time. It's hilarious because it's like doing one of these podcasts over live stream and we all talk over each other at the same time because that never happens. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're
We're
talking about.
polite.
Trying to say the same thing at
What?
once.
No,
we're
we
polite.
wouldn't talk. We
No,
would
we
never
don't
talk all
say
at
the same
once. No,
thing.
It's so funny
we like to
because-
listen.
we
It's
don't
fun.
do that.
We try to do it on
listen.
purpose and it still doesn't work. Yeah.
It does. We do it well.
But I had to laugh at that because I related to that experience. And at the same time, when both people have walkie-talkies going at the same time, or you hear one key up and the other one's feeding back, it just doesn't work. You know, you got to get comms, singular at the one time, and they both try to do it at once, and it just doesn't work.
Okay. A pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Since we're talking comms, when I watch a TV show or a movie in the military, when you're finished talking, you say over. Okay. That means the other person is now turned to speak. But when you're finished with what you're saying, you're leaving, you say out. But yet they insist on going over and out. What the fuck is that even saying? You're telling the other person, you can speak now, but I'm hanging up.
I like it. That's an interesting conversation. I was
Especially
gonna, yeah, no, it
when you
makes
want to be
sense.
passive aggressive.
No, if I had ever said on comms over and out, I would have been jumped by my CEO and everybody else who heard it. It's like, no, just like you never say the word repeat on radio. Never, because the word repeat, artillery understands that means you fire at the last position you fired at.
I thought it meant that something was the food was repeating on you and you were
No,
gassy.
well, that's at the chow hall. But you never say repeat. That's why you notice a lot of military people, it's ingrained in them. They will always say again.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. That's a good one to know.
So you'll hear them
Repeat.
go say again.
Especially
Or
when you're
could you say
talking
that
about
again?
don't talk to artillery. Just send them a text instead.
Well,
Yeah.
unless you're Patrick and you want them to fire.
Or you doing like Patrick and wants to get under my skin because you found that's another one of my little things.
Repeat.
So
Say over and out.
you just don't do that. Or over and out. Yeah, I get so annoyed when I
Repeat
see
over
that.
and out.
Oh my God. That would be my nightmare. Could you repeat that over and out?
Oh my God, that's great.
This just can't
I
see
thought
it.
you were just going to bring up the thing they do in movies all the time where they have a two-way conversation with walkie-talkies that you can only key up one way at a time.
It's annoying. And another, since we're going on pet peeves, is why the fuck are they wearing dog tags outside their uniforms? You never fucking wear your dog tags outside your uniform. One, because they make noise. Two, is because they're shiny. They give
I was
the
going to
enemy a
say,
target to
they're
fire
shiny
at.
as all hell in sun. You
Yeah.
know, that's the
So-
thing. You always see a sniper is like zones in on something that just reflected.
Shining. So you never wear in the military, you never have your dog tags outside your t-shirt. Never. But every fucking movie, they're out there with the tags flying. I guess they want to reinforce to make people think that they're in the military. But never. I mean, you can get silencers for your dog tags so they don't jingle and make noise, which is the black rubber thing that you see around some of them. But you never wear. That's why it was considered bad luck to have 3 on a match. Is because during World War II, a person lights a match at night. The sniper sees the flame. You light your cigarette, you hand it to someone else. The sniper is zoning in on where the light is. By the time the third person goes to light their cigarette, the sniper's got range and a target.
Yeah, you got enough time.
Shit.
Yeah.
So the third person's dead.
That's why I can't be out at night, because I'm such a shining star. I'm just a target.
You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to be. Okay, I guess that's it for my little rants. Let's continue.
Heather.
Oh my God, I killed the podcast.
Are we going to Act 3?
I think that's
Yes.
enough for Act 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless somebody's afraid of basketballs, but I didn't see that really mattered that much.
I mean,
No.
the balls to the head can be dangerous, but
Well, especially if you use a basketball. If you use a
Especially
dodgeball,
if
it's
you-
not as dangerous, but a basketball
balls-
knocks you the fuck out.
No, balls on the head is
or if you get teabagged.
it can be very dangerous, especially if you're lying on your back while it's being done with your head over
Okay.
the edge of the bed. Okay, let's continue.
Act 3. Boimler and Green are people. The two captains are still fighting over the damn rock when Tendi, Mariner, Rutherford, and Boimler join. Frustrated, Tendi grabs the rock and breaks it, revealing the listening device inside. The Screwballs and scientists are working together to collect Starfleet thoughts, codes, and top-secret plans to sell on the black market. Next time, they'll just get a room reservation at Mar-a-Lago. It'll be a lot easier that way. They are taken to the brig while the two ships celebrate with a party. A great way to wind down and collectively make fun of Boimler, the companion cube who wants to be seen as people.
That was funny. That was really funny. And I
Boimler
like
wants
the
to be
fact-
people.
They
Everyday
was funny.
people.
But then they find the stuff on there and they make it back off because they find the computers in the cave. I guess that was the last section we forgot to mention, that they had a whole thing set up. The Mind Stones and everything was basically they were doing a Westworld.
Yeah.
No, dude, they were doing Google and Facebook with ads.
Yeah.
No, they weren't doing the ads so much, but we're just ripping off all your information. That was pretty crazy.
And then showing you a rainbow unicorn.
Right. Yeah. That's never happened.
No.
Rainbow unicorns
finally-
usually mean gays are around. So
Or that you've been Googling and Facebook wants to show you a giant rainbow unicorn.
Or an upside
bag
down
of dicks.
pineapple means you're a swinger.
Oh.
That is a symbol, believe it or not. So I thought that was really kind of cool towards the end. Everybody has a kumbaya, and Tendi actually did what her mentor told her. She interrupted the captain and made her mad to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
And she
And she
threw it
did
on
a
the-
good job.
She did.
I love it because she just fucking raged. She just grabbed the fucking rock and mashed the sucker and like, oh, look, there's Federation tech in there. Well, yeah, we're trying to say this to you people and stop yelling. Everyone went crazy yelling at each other.
She
Yeah, but
learned
it
to
did
rage and
work.
break things from Mariner.
And then the two captains had to come together and apologize and relax. And they're like, yeah, okay, I'm sorry too. And kumbaya, my lord.
I love that at the end, though, the captain's, she's like, okay, here, you can have the small rock. And she's like, oh, you gave me the small rock. That's so nice of you. And she's like, yeah,
So
I kept the
petty.
big one for myself, though.
That was funny. Yeah, but I like the fact that they said earlier in the episode that the Cerritos is the Enterprise of the California class ships, of the Cali-Class ships. That was something to be proud of.
That's really
So-
high praise. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it
really
is.
nice.
indubitably,
Yeah, that was nice.
considering everyone else shits on the Cali-Class.
Well,
Yeah.
this is true. What do you guys think of this episode? I'm going to start off with our wonderful surmiser here. What did you
Are we
think?
doing numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, I give this a hard 8.
Ooh.
I enjoyed it. I'm saving, of course, for better in the future because I know Lower Decks, but it was still really good, really solid. I like how the name of the episode was basically like what happened at the last act. You know, they are data mining people's brains and it's mining the mind's minds. So it's like I really liked how they did that.
The data is people.
So Boimler's people, Boimler and Green are people.
Soylent
Just
Green is people.
Just keep telling everybody that Boiler's a hovering cube.
And then before we end the Act 3 real quick, did you guys notice the koala reference at the very end?
I did notice that.
Yeah.
Don't ever mention
Where-
that out loud. People think you're crazy.
There was a reference to Olivia Newton-John, Blue Koala.
No, the koala.
No, so he mentioned the koala, ironically, Stevens did. So that sort of proved that he was dead. And the reason why it proves he was dead was because in season 1, Moist Vessels, O'Connor ascended to the level of consciousness and stated that he could see the entire universe balanced on the back of a cosmic koala, which was a reference to Terry Pratchett's Discworld. And then in First Contact in season 2, Boimler mentions that he saw an otherworldly koala during his near-death experience. So that means that Stevens died and then came back to life. They saw it.
It's a good catch. I swear, I love my science officer.
I'm like, Shax never saw a koala. He saw the big mountain.
But he won't say what he saw.
Yeah.
He won't say what he saw, but it's a different thing. He probably saw a wormhole god because he's Bajoran.
Okay.
Good point.
So it might be. Hey, number 1, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it I'll give it an 8. I thought it was really fun. It was a really good episode. Lots of fun stuff happening. Lots of good, good Easter eggy thingies. And,
It was.
I like green stuff in your mind.
Figures. And how about you, Rocky? What would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 9. I was highly entertained like usual with Lower Decks. Even at the end, Shax is like, they're saying, well, just phaser this thing in half. And he's like, oh yeah, now we're talking. just little stuff like that. He got one line in the whole show. And it's just, yes, I agree with everything that's going on in this show. From the beginning where the guy sees his teacher from the past to the ending where Boimler thinks he's a robot. Is trying to be human. It's just fucking hilarious all the way through. I'm just so entertained by Lower Decks.
He's a real boy. So I thought it was really funny. I would give it a Diamond Cutter 8. So it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I want to leave some room, like Heather said, so I can actually touch the back later on with the full 10. But it was a very enjoyable episode. I really get a kick out of it. The play on words, the nightmares, the misunderstanding, the whole thing, and of course the god awful Klingon Clowns. Yeah, that was a nightmare. But I have a question for you, number 1. You know what it is, right?
What?
What's next week's episode?
I don't know what next week's episode is, but I can tell you that they didn't give us next week's episode, but they've given us season 8's episode, which is going to be, now I've lost it.
Season 8?
What?
Yeah,
Are we on season 3?
I'm sorry. No, season 3, episode 8. It's called Crisis Point 2 Paradoxics.
Well, so we'll go back to that. Apparently, they're really excited if they let that leak out ahead of time.
Well, I mean, this first one was so good. The second one's got to be awesome.
It's going to be really cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and tie it up. Thank you for coming aboard and listening to us today. Please keep those comments and emails coming at the collective at starfleetunderground.com. We really do enjoy getting messages from you through subspace. It makes our day. We get excited and yell, and everyone runs to the console and tries to beat whoever is there in order to be able to pull it up and read it. I don't, because I'm scared of buttons now, thanks to my chief engineer.
Don't hit the big red one. That's flashing.
We have new swag. So if you want to see something, well, not new swag, but we get new stuff in our ship store.
That one, we tweeted that one out. We got a lot of positive response right away. People like the Vulcan one.
So
you can meld me any day. I like that one too.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. So keep doing it. And thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening. Come back next week. We'd love to have you. Even if you're driving, watch out for that car and enjoy. Please remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to the collective at starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.